Alright guys, it's time for another character review. We're going to be talking about Poison this time, but I need a special guest for this, and it's Sonic Soul. What's going on, man?
Yo, man, it's been a minute. What's up,
It's been
everybody?
a while, but this is a very special case. I needed you specifically because both you and me went over this character and we're kind of on the same page as a lot of other players are. And I don't want to do this by myself, man. I'm going to get grilled on YouTube for this one. I know I
It's
am.
okay.
I
I
know I
got
am.
you. I'll be the partner. I
Yeah.
got you, bro.
It's not going to be a rant. It's going to be a discussion because now there's two of us. We got a lot to talk about this character, man. A lot to talk about. We put in our time. I don't know if you did the whole rookie to diamond thing, Sonic. I think you went just right in there, right? Right in diamond.
Yeah, right in rank, right in diamond.
Yeah, you released a lot of like lab and tech videos too. I saw on your Twitter. I went from the rookie to diamond, so I did the long grind. So I think we both put in our time with this character to have
We
a
did.
little review on it. I guess let's just set the tone for the video because we're kind of hyping people up what we're gonna be talking about here. The tone of
Yeah,
the video is that both you and me and a lot of players clearly think that she is the weakest of the three new characters that came on Street Fighter V. You would agree?
I I do agree. In fact, I believe there were four players that I saw. It was Nemo, Mago, Sako, and Haitani. All of them expressed that she didn't look that great. However,
Hmm.
Haitani, in when he was talking about her, did say that the character's style might fit people like Infiltration and Justin Wong.
Interesting.
Uh, yeah, because Infiltration, he has that hit and run play style that he loves, and he likes to be annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin Wong plays very defensive, and a lot of what Poison has in terms of her toolkit wants to be defensive, at
Mm-hmm.
least on paper. And it's funny enough because we also see IDOM using her as well with V Trigger One.
Yes.
So we see IDOM, and we also see a little bit of Wolfgang play that character as well, and I think they're doing great.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of Japanese players have come out and said, "Yo, this character looks like
Yeah,
stress."
but these are no-name Japanese players, Sonic. You know.
I wish, man. I wish.
I, I mean, I guess what you as the viewers can take from this is that yes, the majority of players do think that she sucks, but there are players that can make this character work. That's basically what
I,
Sonic is saying.
yeah, I think that again, from my stance, I don't think she's gonna be tournament viable. I think she's gonna be strong in terms of like character loyalists,
Yeah,
but that's it.
yeah,
That's it. I don't think she's gonna be super tournament viable, like top five nonsense.
yeah. So, with that being said, we thinking that she's doo doo. I do feel like her design is great. Like I really do like how Capcom designed this character, and they kind of changed how she was, and they gave her a new weapon with the whip, and then the way her move list works and all that. I think it's great. I really do. I think the design is really great. This is not like a Falk situation where I think the design is bad and the character was bad. I think the design is good, but the character is bad. I just
Yeah,
feel like between
it's
the
a
three.
radical change.
Yeah, I just feel like between the three characters, Capcom showed a little too much restraint on almost everything she has. They are like,
I agree.
whoa, this might be too powerful. Whoa, on everything.
Like from my perspective, because I played Poison in Street Fighter 4 and Cross Tekken,
Yeah.
and when I played her, she was pretty much like a Shoto with a Rekka.
Mm-hmm.
In my honest opinion, she had a fireball, DP. Her low forward was cancelable. She was one of the few characters with a stand forward that was cancelable.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, she was a Shoto with a forward advancing special move, which was a Rekka. And she completely changed in this game. Now her design is mostly based around controlling mid range, controlling the space mid range, having her long whip normals to kind of frustrate and annoy the opponent. I
Mm-hmm.
like the fact that they had given her this whip special move kind of out of like I think KOF Yamazaki,
Yamazaki, that's what I thought.
where he's straight up just doing like the stance, and he ends up going into three different hits, high, mid, and low, and it's just like I like that. That's cool. I just, for me, the fact that she has to deal with trades against projectiles most of the time when she uses these special moves, sometimes she'll get hit, which it's the whole hurt box issue, but like even so, I feel I feel like the whip normals and even some of the special moves, like they have mad recovery to them too. And I'm not expecting them to have like no recovery or
Of
little
course.
recovery.
Of
But
course.
almost everything I feel she does has a ton of commitment to it. Like
Right.
if you do anything wrong once, like if you press something wrong once, you're going to pay for it. And
Yeah.
it's not like other characters that could literally just like press this button to kind of like check you for walking, because normally in the neutral you're gonna be pressing a button to
Yeah.
kind of like check an approach on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Poison, it's like, yo, I mean, well, I could press stand forward, but you might be from full screen. I want to do crouching fierce. Oh, you jumped in on me. God dang it. Yo. Like,
She like when you look at her kit, it sounds really good on paper, but once you get it into motion, into the actual match, you see her shortcomings immediately. You know.
oh yeah, man.
Yeah. So with that being said, I guess let's talk about that now. We're gonna start with talking about her weaknesses. The list is not as long as I thought it would be, but these weaknesses are pretty big ones. And
Yes.
these are, of course, our opinion about what we feel is weak about the other characters. Some of the other pro players might have different opinions on what's weak about her, but this is just me and Sonic's. So I guess the first thing is that Poison is this kind of character where she's this long range spacing character, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you would compare her to someone like maybe Falk, maybe Dalsum, maybe Minot, right? Characters with like, you know, long range normals. But there's one thing that she's missing that all these other characters have, and that's the fact that she has no projectiles.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, well, they took away her projectile from Street Fighter 4 because, you know, she's no longer the same. But the fact that she doesn't have projectiles really, really hurts her game, because now you kind of have this character where she has nothing to bully you with besides these very long recovery, long range normals. And if you don't have the life lead, you're in serious trouble, right?
Yeah, like as I said before, you're gonna with the heart rates, which are the high, mid, and lows, whip. Those you can use the mid version. Like you could use mid heart rate to kind of like poke at the opponent, and if they throw a projectile, you can kind of trade with them.
Yeah.
And in some cases, you could either do crouching fierce or low heart rate to kind of hit them before the projectile arrives to you, but you're still going to get hit because of the recovery.
Right.
So overall, you win in trades, but let's say you don't have the life lead. Well, now those trades are kind of meaningless because they're going to still have more health than you.
Right.
So at that point, it's like, well, why didn't she just have a fireball, which fireballs force people to dance. It forces people to actually jump at you.
Right.
Now, granted, the heart raids, you can stance cancel the heart raids and, you know, try to like mess around with the opponent there to force them to jump.
Right.
But it's like, again, if they're winning on trades, then it's like, why? You know, like why bother with that when you can just have a projectile to nullify it and then win the fireball war that way? Because again, the trades are not going to really add up, especially if you don't have the life lead.
Right. So, like, you know, imagine if Minot didn't have, like, the Soul Spark, or she can, you know, throw the orb.
There's no imagining. She used to not have it.
Right. And it hurt her, right? Remember, like, we were talking about.
It hurt her a lot.
You know, if she didn't have that orb, she was in trouble. And then now she's able to bully with it. And, like, imagine Dalsum without a fireball. You know, him just throwing out limbs at you all day.
Get whiff punished.
Right? Or Falk, even as bad as Falk's fireball is. It's the same concept, right? So that's why we're saying it kind of, like, even Birdie has, like, the pop can, you know, that rolls towards you. Something to make it, you know, tempting to try to get in and them to bully you and pressure you, right? Because if Poison had a projectile, she'd be able to throw it out, and then she can push you to the corner rather than her trying to play defense all the time for the entire match, you know?
I agree.
Especially,
understand that, like, yes, whilst projectiles in this game are a little more detrimental because everyone has like some kind of projectile invuln move or something to absorb projectiles. On the other front, most characters have to spend this bar or meter to be able to get through projectiles, and that allows for you to mess with the opponent's resources. Whereas with heart rate, it's kind of like, well, I don't even have to spend meter for this. I'll get in. I'll take the hit.
Okay, so the next weakness is one of her most important normals, which is her standing hard punch. Okay?
Oh my God.
So her standing hard punch, that's where she does her heavy whip in front of you, right?
Yes.
The problem with this standing hard punch, why it's so important, is because it's your only normal that will combo into the heart rate, right? The whip. and
Yeah.
it'll combo. Like if you use medium kick, it won't combo unless it's a counter hit, right? So it's your cancelable normal that you're using to pressure people with.
Yeah.
But the problem with it is that the range is bad. It's not as far as you think it should be, especially when you tech a throw with somebody. It's not in range after they tech the throw. Like that, I think that's why Capcom specifically made it go short range. The hurt box is terrible. I'll have to show you guys on the screen what the hurt box looks like so you guys understand. It's all on the bottom part, so you can get stuffed by so many things. Crouching lights, any type of low kind of profile normal that people are not even trying to hit you or trying to beat it with.
Clean.
It just it loses. I'm not even saying trades. I'm saying it loses.
It beats it clean.
Even though it's a heavy normal.
And you would think like, okay, they pressed the low normal here. I'm gonna whiff punish with this button with Stand Fierce, right? Because the only way that I ever see Stand Fierce really used is when you space trap somebody. So when you press a button, they get pushed back, and then they're gonna want to press a button afterwards to kind of fill up that space. But then they get their button counter poked by Stand Fierce, and then you could get a combo there. But in some instances, because of the way Standing Fierce is, the downward, or rather the hitbox is in a diagonal angle. And it literally doesn't cover the lower part of her body. She could get clipped by that for free. And it's like, well, great. Now I want a space trap with this. This man's literally just going to press low forward anyway and just clip it. Or it's just like, why? Like, and it's 10, I think it's 10 frame startup too. It's really slow. I'm not, and I know, a normal that looks like that, you'd want it to be balanced, but at the same time, it's like, yo, it doesn't even go that far. Like, it doesn't go that far as it looks.
Yeah, so it doesn't. Yeah. So, which leads into the next weakness, which is kind of almost the same thing, is that Poison has this huge dead zone, I call it. So it's right outside of Standing Hard Punch range. She has nothing. Yes. And she's completely dependent on crouching heavy punch. I mean, you can do some ghetto stuff like, What's the whip attack Sonic that's not heart rate? The one she whips like 3 times?
Avant line, and you have to use the light one to be safe. The
right.
medium one is also safe on block 2, but you don't get like a knockdown. You only get the +2 situation on hit.
Right, and it's minus, like really minus, like 6 and 8 respectively. Yeah. And it pushes the opponent towards you too when they block it, right? With that minus. And you're like, you're not, it's not meant to be a poking tool. It's more of a combo filler tool, right? So you're kind of using it, and the range is not even that much farther than Standing Hard Punch, honestly.
No, it's not.
You're kind of forced in a situation where you use Crouching Hard Punch a lot, and I mean a lot, right?
And Crouching Hard Punch, by the way, is like 15 some odd frame startup. It's extremely slow.
So I do want to say that I think the Crouching Hard Punch is balanced correctly. I do think
I agree.
They balanced it because it hits low and it goes very far. So I think Capcom balanced that perfectly. I just feel that since she's got to rely on it, it's too much risk. It's literally the equivalent of chucking out fireballs. It literally
consider where her dead zone is, right? Where the only normal you can use is Crouching Fierce. Yeah. That's like literally mid-range.
Right.
Yeah, she wants to control mid-range. I get that. But why can't she use her other normals to compensate for that instead of a 15 frame normal?
Right.
By the way, right, when you use Crouching Fierce in that dead zone, it's like the footsie range, more or less. Like, you definitely don't want to press it there because you could get jumped in on.
Yeah.
So it's just like you're creating a situation where the risk is going to be too high to press this button because you're trying to bet on the opponent trying to walk back and position himself. Yeah. When really they're not going to do that if they know that Poison can't really press anything at that range without getting whiff punished or worse, jumped in on.
Right. Exactly. And like I said, my beef isn't that Crouching Hard Punch is bad or good. I think it's perfectly balanced. It's the fact that you have to rely on it. There's nothing else. You have no other buttons. So if if you don't have a button that's outside that Standing Hard Punch range, you have this dead zone, then I mean, what's the point of playing Poison? Like you're supposed to go in and stay in a Hard Punch range where it's super dangerous to get jumped in on, Like, it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, you could get jumped in on for Stand Fierce too, for trying to do a block string as well, if the block string ain't real.
Right.
So you're definitely getting bodied either way in that scenario.
Like, all this would make sense if she had a fireball. That's the point of all this. All of this would make sense if she had a fireball.
Of course.
It should be way more complete with that. Okay, so the next thing, and once again, this kind of all comes together as well, is that she has no decent pushback. So because she has nothing that really pushes the opponent back or knocks them down, she gets walked down hard. This character gets
Yes.
down backed or walked down hard to the corner immediately when the round starts. It almost is like you're on defense immediately, you know?
Now,
Like,
granted, right? When we're going to talk a little bit more about this later. Her anti-airs will allow her to kind of like knock people back,
yeah,
but that is if, of course, the opponent decides to jump at you,
right.
which is a little possible considering her toolkit. But from ground game alone, it's very hard for her from round start to actually knock you down unless she takes a huge read, maybe with heavy love me tender or with a poke with standing medium kick or standing fierce. But standing medium kick, again, it's not going to hit from round start range, and stand fierce is 10 frame startup. So you can expect to get jumped in on. You're not going to be able to knock someone down immediately round start like other characters can potentially do to you.
Yeah. Like one solution would be like when you do your medium heart rate, the whip attack, the long range whip attack. If it hit
Yeah.
them, knock them down. If it knocks the opponent down, it would make way more sense because then she would gain ground, right? But when you hit them with it, it doesn't knock them down; it just hits them. You hit them with crouching fierce, it just kind of hits them, right? And it doesn't stop them. They will slowly start to push you to the corner, right?
And the worst part about it too, again, is that like a lot of the moves that she has to kind of like knock down or push back, a lot of those moves are like extremely negative on block. So hit confirming them is just like insane. The
Yeah.
only thing that she could really do to knock someone down, I think, without Love Me Tender, without Shocking Heal or Avant Line, no, she doesn't have anything else to really knock people down with unless she overcommits.
Right.
No.
Right. And she's supposed to be a character that's supposed to stand her ground, you know? Like
Of course,
that's her
she's supposed
style,
to
right?
control mid-range. She's
Right.
supposed to be able to control mid-range and slowly walk you down based on her good, zoning tools.
Right. Right.
But that just doesn't seem to be the case.
Right. In practice, yeah. So then this is once again coincides with what we just talked about. So she's very weak to Unga Bunga and armor moves. That's the best way I could put it, man, is Unga Bunga. So
Ungamentals?
Ungamentals, dude. And like I said, the only way to beat Unga is with Bunga. So like, dude, okay, Street Fighter V has so many moves of really fast moving moves that get you in, right? So we got like Urian's EX shoulder,
punch,
88
EX
miles
shoulder,
per hour.
88 miles per hour.
Yeah.
Honda now with
Birdie.
the EX headbutt Birdie.
Mika, charge
Like
hard
you wanna
kick,
do
EX
this heart rate crouching fierce nonsense? Okay, I'ma just throw out this 1-bar armor move and now I'm in.
Right.
I don't care.
So when you're playing poison, you're taking a lot of risk, right? So you're doing these really slow recovery moves that don't push the opponent back, and you're throwing this out because you're trying to keep them from getting close to you, right? Yeah. And you have the anti-airs covered, but on the ground they're trying to walk you down, and eventually, even if you're against someone like Zangief, he's gonna do an EX bear grab, and it's just gonna armor right through you very easily because your normals have such recovery, and he's gonna get in, and then you're in serious trouble.
I will say, you do have the ability to stance cancel the heart raids. So the heart raids, she has that little pose that she does, and then you could press kick to cancel it, and you can use that to kind of bait the forward advancing moves. But even when you do bait them, you're blocking them.
Right.
You gotta hold that. Right. You actually have to hold that. Now against Urian, sure, he's -2, but I think Balrog is like what, +1 or +2 after
he's +1.
EX punch?
Yeah.
He's +1. Bison, even though he doesn't have an armor move, his EX scissor kicks, he's
+2.
Yo, exactly. Like Birdie, he's not plus on his I think EX bullhead, but at least he's spaced out, so you can't really punish him.
Right.
Those characters like those are gonna give you a hard time, even when you bait them out with the heart rate feint. Because even if you bait out those moves, they're still in. They're still getting in, and now you got to worry about them trying to like actually hit you.
Right.
Which again, like you're trying to play neutral with these dudes that have like OD armor moves on everything. So.
So next one is she has no reversals. I mean, this is kind of self-explanatory. I know Dulcim doesn't have a reversal. I know Minot doesn't have a reversal. These characters
doesn't have a reversal.
Nash doesn't have a reversal. I get it. But
I feel like she does have.
What?
She has a 3-framer.
She does have a 3-framer. I feel like that's one way to make Poison unique between like those Dhalsim characters is that she could have had a reversal. That's why she doesn't have a projectile to kind of
She
compensate.
used to have a reversal too.
Yeah. So I mean that's it's a weakness, right? We're naming weaknesses. No reversal is definitely a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
And then this one is huge. One of the biggest weaknesses, besides not having a projectile, is she has absolutely terrible V triggers. Sonic, in my opinion, I think her V triggers suck. I don't know what you think, but I think they both are terrible.
Personally, I think in this game, if your V trigger is not V trigger 2 Jury, then I think you're kind of all right. If it's not V trigger 2 Jury or like Ed V trigger 1 or like things like that, you're fine, bro. But even then, like then you gotta measure it with all the other V triggers in the game that just give like insane like comeback factor.
That's right.
And then you look at Poison and you're like, well, wow, V trigger 1 is like just chip city. It's chip city, but then it's like all of the things that you want to do, you're -2 after.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, you make your heavy like special moves or like your minus special moves safe on block, and you can kind of chip away at the opponent's life that way. But it's like, who cares? Look at her V trigger 1 and the burn damage.
It's terrible. It's like 80 damage if they stand
compared to like Dhalsim.
Yeah.
Dhalsim, when he burns you, you're losing mad gray life, and it's out there for much longer.
Right.
Like, if she's supposed to be scaring you with this unblockable gray life that you have to take, you would want it to last for a little bit longer. That, or instead compensate by making it like at least plus or 0, like something like that. Like make it to where she could get advantage on at least 4 frames. Because if she's 0 on block after the molly, then she has her 3-frame normal to oppress on 4-framers. Or if you make it +1, then she gets some pressure after it, to some true pressure that she can actually continue her chip damage with and not fake pressure.
Mm-hmm.
Also, with V Trigger 2, by the way, I love that V Trigger 2 is the Street Fighter 5 V Trigger, all right? We all know that command grabs are godlike in this game, all right? And her command grab, she has a close one and a far one.
Yeah.
Here's the reason why Sako believes that Poison isn't bad, but she's not fun either. You know that V Trigger 2, the long range command grab that starts up mad long? You can actually react to that V Trigger 1 long range V Trigger 2 long range command grab by just looking at the V meter. You know that, right?
No, I didn't.
If you look at the V meter, if she activates while in neutral, or she just activates from raw and she tries to throw you, right? If the block string or the hit isn't real, if you look at the V meter, you can immediately jump because the V meter gets removed first,
right?
Before she goes for the
I didn't even think about that. That's good.
Yep.
I mean, that's bad, but it's good.
it's not fun. As Sako said, it's not fun. It's terrible.
That's ridiculous.
So all she really has against a good player is the close command grab.
Oh
and
my
now,
God.
While some people say that the close command grab, it's 6 frames, so you can't really frame trap from your +2 situations. At the same time, you still have a jab to kind of like contest, so you could force them to block, so they have to eat that frame trap, and then they get conditioned. That's nice. But all that work for what? You hit them with like a command grab that does maybe a little under 200 damage and more stun, and the Oki is like you gotta manually time the stand fierce. You have to manually time it to get it to hit meaty. Otherwise, if you whiff it, you're getting punished. You literally gotta sit there and hold it. So it's like both of those V triggers do not fulfill the requirements of the comeback factor that you need. You gotta take heavy risk with both of them. And I think at the end of the day, like while those V triggers are like decent, that is all they are. They are.
We both use V Trigger 2. You and me. We use V Trigger 2.
I use V Trigger 2 primarily, but I've been experimenting with both.
I've been trying to make one work so badly. Like seriously, for me, I just think they're lackluster. It just reminds me of Sakura when she came out with her V Triggers, man.
With V Trigger 1 with the Molly, all the ambiguous setups are only good in corner, because mid-screen, if you try to go for most of these setups, they don't work.
Yeah, you just back-rise that shit,
dude. They back-rise and then you walk away.
Yeah,
and
back-rise,
you can kind of clip them with a crouching short, but even then the pushback alone makes those mix-ups terrible.
Yeah.
And then if you no-rise, then great. Oh, I'm getting burned for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Not even 10 seconds, like a millisecond. Like
I know. The thing about V Trigger 1 is I really like the idea, the whole Aaron Black thing. And I'm like,
yeah,
man, this completes the character because now she has a projectile. Now she's super dangerous. The pressure's on.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just so like Capcom was so afraid of making that Molotov strong, like Zane or like Dhalsim, sorry. Like
yeah.
You know, the burn damage would make her. Oh, I really feel like that Molotov should have been an actual special move.
By the way, it is a quote unquote projectile, but for V Trigger, you do realize that V Trigger doesn't hit like twice. It doesn't go through EX projectiles.
Oh, interesting.
It only goes through regular projectiles. EX projectiles.
But it's still a projectile hitbox?
Yes.
Interesting. I didn't know that. I think that's good though, right? That it doesn't get nullified by EXs though, right? Wouldn't that be good? I mean, right? Because you know,
you're spending V meter, Vesper.
You want it to be neutralized and use V meter though? I don't know, man.
I would rather not get hit by an EX projectile for throwing this molly. I'd rather at least nullify it.
It should be punishable. It should be something bad if the opponent hits it with a fireball. Like if the opponent hits a fireball, it explodes and then like throws fire everywhere and hits them. Like
exactly.
It should scare them to want to throw a fireball against it. You know, something like that. Now we're getting NRSy with this game, but I'm just saying, you know, I'm just trying to make ideas here.
Her V triggers are like meh. They're very average.
Yeah, V trigger 2, the throws do way too low damage, and they don't give you OK.
For them to do that that much of low damage, and the long range command grab being utterly useless unless in conversions.
Yeah,
like real talk, it should give Oki. I could understand the low damage if it were to give her like good Oki.
Yes,
but it doesn't give her anything.
Right, exactly.
She has to work hard for the Oki, which really, if she messes up, she's going to die.
Exactly. Okay, man, we've been ranting about this character for a while, so we gotta talk about some pros, man, before people close this video. We gotta talk about some pros. Okay, so I had to think long and hard about the pros, so I had to really sit down and focus. You know what I'm saying? To figure out what's good about this character. So here's what I wrote up. Tell me if you like it, okay? Mm-hmm. All right. She's got good anti-airs. She's got good anti-airs.
Yeah.
She's got good anti-airs.
She does.
Medium punch, good.
6 frames, 4 active frames.
Yeah.
You know, it's OD. Like
can cover 2 wake up options sometimes.
Yeah. She can hit she can hit behind her head with it.
Yeah.
It's head and shoulders, man. It's mad good.
Yeah, it's like a Swiss Army knife button because you can use it close, you can use it anti-air. It's a great button. Mm-hmm. Crouching medium punch.
It's like what, +4 on hit? I mean on block? It's +4 on block.
Super plus.
But the only thing is that the pushback on it is kind of like whack. Well, I guess I understand because it's mad plus on block.
Yeah.
But it's a good anti-air, man. Like that's what I default to, and then when it hits as an anti-air, I cancel it into the V skill, and now I'm actually in for like all of 2 seconds.
That's right. Yeah. You know, it could be bad for the opponent to jump on poison. She obviously has many anti-airs though, besides crouching medium punch. She's got the kick,
light shocking heal, which is
light shocking heal, excellent hitbox. It's technically not invincible to airborne attacks, but the hitbox is outrageous.
It's diagonally up and it's super big, yo. Like it anti-airs everything from like in front of her onward. Like,
and if you trade with it, you can get some excellent juggle potential.
You go into EX heart rate, EX heavy heart rate.
You can go into super. You can go into a lot of shit. You can go into V skill. You can go into so much stuff.
She also has EX heart rate, which is 9 frame startup, but it covers again a wide range up in front of poison onward.
Still not good against Akuma Air Fireball or EX Kunai from Ibuki, but
EX and V Trigger Fireball, no, it's not good, but at least you knock down Akuma. You get traded by the projectile, but he can't do it.
It should neutralize fireballs, man. I don't know why it doesn't.
I do. It should neutralize both hits or all hits, I think, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And then she also has her heavy heart rate, which is primarily a read.
Which cancels into super.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have the whip, if you have it held out, you can react to it no problem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, she also has good air-to-airs, too. Like jumping medium punch into jumping forward heavy punch. That's really good. Like, you immediately see somebody jumping close to you, because sometimes you can't anti-air them immediately with light shocking heal or crouching medium punch. You just jump medium punch into jumping heavy punch, and that just knocks them down. You don't even have to worry about it anymore.
Dude,
Like the air to air is good.
Jump back target combo, super reliable, man. I do it all the time. It's
Yeah,
great
it's too
damage,
good.
and you get a knockdown.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. It's good. And
She's
thank God Poison's got good anti-airs. By the way, I mean, could you
she's definitely
imagine?
part of the Air Force. She's definitely part of the Air Force.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so another good thing about her, and this is obvious, she has excellent range, and crouching hard punch is quite unique because it hits low, man. It hits low and it reaches so far away. It's really annoying. If the opponent respects you, Poison's really annoying to deal with. You know.
Well, the thing is, you have to treat crouching heavy punch also as a projectile. Right?
That's true.
You actually have to treat that button like it's a projectile because the whole focus is that you're gonna be pressing this button to make them annoyed, to tack on gray life, and to stop them from walking, to stop them from throwing projectiles. Like against Sagat, for instance, he wants to throw a high tiger shot, you just do crouch and fierce.
That's right.
All good, baby.
That's
they
right.
want to throw projectiles, you have crouch fierce to kind of mess with that, even though you might trade against most people. And then eventually you play this game until they jump. And then you anti-air them. And that's pretty much Poison in a nutshell. She needs Crouch and Fierce for her kit to actually be like a thing. Because Crouch and Fierce actually enables her to get those good anti-airs and to get those knockdowns that she lacks within the neutral.
That's her god button, man. That's her god button.
I think it's her god button.
It's like, just risky. That's the thing. It's just risky.
Of course, it's very risky. It's 15 frames. It's you treat it like it's a fireball.
That's right. Okay, so another thing, you already mentioned this a little bit, Sonic, is that they allowed her to have whip cancels in neutral, right? So you can get really creative with Poison, and you can start like going into the stance, out of the stance, cancel into the stance, dash forward, throw, and you make yourself really unpredictable, which is very important with Poison. You have to be unpredictable, or you're gonna get jumped in on hard, and it really helps her.
Like her standing heavy punch, for instance, we talked about how you could cancel that into her heart rates, which are very important.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to find yourself in the neutral where you're going to be pressing like stand fierce, or you're going to be doing heart rate into medium or light heart rate. Like you're going to be doing the light or medium heart rates either to stop them from walking or to kind of like check them and poke them and deal chip damage. And the thing about it is that when you're up close and you do that stand fierce into heart rate, you do the stance cancel and then you throw them because they're going to be conditioned to be like, oh, great, I got to block another. He's just going to do the medium heart rate.
Right.
He's going to do the light one. He's going to stop me from walking. Oh, wait, he stance canceling the throw. God dang it. Like, I just got thrown, man.
Like, once I got into platinum rank, I was delaying it. Like, I go heavy punch into the whip cancel and I wait a second so it doesn't combo and then I just release it. Kind of just check them constantly, right? Just to keep
you wait for them to press a button.
Yeah, man. Keep them passive because... Yeah, so the good thing she has got whip cancels. Yeah, that's really good. I wish she had more combos that she could do with it, but it's fine. The combos, it's a little spicy, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. We're not talking about like El Fuerte, like heavy punch loops or anything, but you know what I'm saying? Something.
Run stop, baby.
Run stop. Okay, another thing, and this is probably one of her most important things that every Poison player has to abuse as much as possible. This is the only thing that's like, I would say that's overpowered with her, would be her EX heart rate. The medium version.
Of course. I mean, the light ones and the heavy one is good. Like, the light one is a low. It's a double hitting low. And remember that all the heart rates, I mean, obviously not the heavy one, but the light and medium ones, the first hit of EX heart rate is always cancelable into V-trigger. So you can use the light one, for instance, to kind of like check their feet, and then V-trigger cancel.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes.
I thought it was only medium. Damn.
Nah, even the light ones too. And that's how you check their feet. If they try to like press anything, they got clipped for the low, time to get press stand fierce.
Yeah.
Because you got hit and IV trigger cancel. The medium one, right? The medium one, come on, man, it's +2. It's +2.
It's
you
crazy.
You already know how good the +2 situation is, all right, man? And it sucks them in. So
and she got a 3-framer. Yeah.
Yup. So she can oppress, right? And it's not even the 3-framers. It's the fact that it's +2 and she has crouching light punch. Crouching light punch is 4 frames, but it's +3 on block. So then they have to hold the throw. You could shimmy. You could frame trap in the stand medium punch because it's a 6 frame and it's +3 on block. You could also do crouch short because a lot of people are going to try to jump back
That's
or
what
back
I do.
dash.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to get thrown because that's what they're scared of. So then you just hit them with the low and you get your knockdown. Granted, you end with light shocking heal, or if you have meter, you could do EX Avant line. But if you don't have meter and you do light shocking heal, well, you get the knockdown and you got to manually time your Oki. But hey, they decided to walk back or dash back or jump back to avoid the throw. They got hit. The thing is that you get a mix. All right, +2 in Street Fighter V is so.
It's an EX knee press basically. That's
exactly. And the best part is that it sucks in.
Yeah.
It sucks in. And if you have V Trigger 2
that's
and
where it
you
shines.
cancel if you have V Trigger 2 and you cancel the first hit, you should see the character just get dragged towards poison. It's insane.
Right.
So then they have to now guess here. Dang, he's like mad plus, like +10 or whatever. He could stand fierce me. He could press a medium button. He could stop me from dashing back. He could command throw me. You now have more options because you have V Trigger 2 and they have to guess. You're playing.
And like you said, it neutralizes a fireball, so you can activate into it. And so when it's really good.
It neutralizes one fireball. Yes.
Yeah. So like you basically like that's Poison's like Unga Bunga, you know? Like it's definitely worth it and viable to just use EX heart rate whenever you have the chance cuz for immediate pressure. And I encourage Poison players to use it more if it will really help you out a lot, man, with the character. Especially if you
force the mix.
Yeah, force it. Cuz it's very good. It's definitely overpowered in terms of her rest of her kit.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. And even then, Capcom shows some restraint. Like, it's +2 instead of +3. If you can imagine if it was +3...
Oh, if it was +3,
then
her
insane.
command grab would actually be real.
V-Trigger 2 would be a no-brainer.
It wouldn't be It wouldn't be conditional anymore. It would be real, and you would get, like, the action... People couldn't backdash. People wouldn't be able to backdash from you at that point.
Right. It'd be absolutely insane. So, but it already is very good. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and the last pro of the character this is kind of a weird one. So she can deal with fireballs, but she can't really deal with zoners, which sounds weird. So like, she has certain moves to deal with fireballs. So she's got, what's the flip kick called?
Love Me Thunder. And it's specifically the heavy one, or the EX one.
And the EX one is good, but it doesn't go as far as you'd want it to go. And
the EX one is the only... the EX Love Me Thunder is the only one that you could do to punish projectiles on reaction. Right? On reaction, you can use it. However, the heavy one is the one that you can use as a read.
Yeah.
So you have to use the heavy one as a read against projectiles. Because if you try to use it on reaction, let's say you fight a Shoto like Ryu, he's going to parry it.
And then you're dead.
Punish you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have to
very slow and telegraphed.
You have to know how the player is throwing their projectiles. Now, here's the other problem, though. Let's say you're fighting somebody like maybe Sagat or worse, Guile. If you're fighting Guile and he's chucking plasma at you, you better hope you have a meter to do EX Love Me Tender. And even then, you better hope you're in range so you don't whiff. And sometimes if you're off on the reaction, then they block.
Yeah, he recovers so fast, right?
Yep. And
after the nerf.
Yeah, and Sagat is the same way too. Sagat could also recover fast with the high Tiger shot.
Right.
He recovers, I think, a little faster than the low Tiger shot. And the EX Love Me Tender, again, if you're just like a frame off on your reaction, they're blocking it. But aside from that, she has those tools. She has V-skill.
It's kind of the same issue, though. You don't want to do it full screen. You have to be a little close.
Exactly.
But it's really slow.
You have to space it. You have two different versions. You have the back version, which doesn't go as far, and the one that goes very far forward, the neutral one. But again, as Vesper said, you don't want to do it like mad far because you could get DP'd for free.
Right.
So you have to do it at a very specific range and mid-range, which is hard because that requires you to either have the read or the proper reaction. So
I still think, even though she has these designated tools to deal with projectiles, I still feel that overall, crouching hard punch is still the best thing to deal with fireballs. Crouching hard punch.
Yeah, free.
Yeah,
free.
It's kind of odd, but yeah. So I do feel like it is a pro. Like, Poison can deal with fireballs. I just don't think she can do well against zoners, like the crazy zoners like Guile and such. You know,
but just won't win. Again, as we said before, with one of her weaknesses, you just won't win when trying to trade and they have the life lead. If the zoner has the life lead and you're trying to play this game where you're trading hits with the projectile with crouch fierce or medium heart rate, you're not gonna win in the long run because they have the life lead over you, and that's what zoners want.
Yeah, definitely. So that's pretty much it for pros. I guess, you know, this is the weird part too. As much as we talked about all these problems with poison and such, when I checked my my record when I got to diamond with poison, and I actually performed better with poison than I did with Lucia. I got to diamond faster with poison. Now that could be just the type of players I played. Maybe I didn't run into enough Akuma players or something. But I feel like poison can expose some of the lower ranked players and players that give you respect.
She's a scrub killer. She's a scrub killer.
She's a scrub killer. Is that how you want to put it? I don't want to be mean about it.
I think she's a scrub. I think she's kind of a scrub killer, but not in the conventional sense. Maybe it's wrong for me to say she's a scrub killer, but I think she is only because, as you said, she exposes a lot of scrubby tactics, right? Like a lot of like very niche tactics that like lower ranked players try to use.
I think that in the right hands, like we talked before with like Item or J1, I think, or even Infiltration, I think these players can make this character work because if you, I mean, you can say this about any character, but if you play her perfectly, she is good, you know? But how hard is that to do, you know? Especially when there's so many moves that can get around that. I don't know.
Again, I feel like she doesn't. Again, the way that Street Fighter V is right now in terms of the meta.
Yeah.
That's why I said in the beginning, I don't think she's like a top 5 OD character. I think she's just somewhere like in the mid range. Somewhere in the mid range. I know it's wrong for me also to call it early, but that's what I feel. Because
I mean, this is our current thoughts. I mean, we can change our minds later.
She doesn't feel like she does the Street Fighter V formula that a lot of the other characters do. Like a lot of the other characters are effective in being able to immediately land that hit, go under pressure, and keep you in that pressure for a long period of time. Mm-hmm. And Rush Down is very strong. Sure,
you're baiting your mic, Sonic. You're baiting the table.
I'm sorry. I'm
both you and Claw, man. You guys get so passionate.
There are some characters like Minot that actually do well with zoning too, and Guile in some cases if he wants to play zoning.
Yeah.
But the whole idea is that generally speaking, you're gonna get in at some point. And when you get in, that's when it's scary for a lot of players. It's a lot. That's what you want to do. You want to make it to where it's extremely scary for players to deal with. That's why Minot has such a strong V trigger, despite being a zoner. That strong V trigger allows her to make that comeback. Right. That's also why I got nerfed to 3 bars. So,
I do feel like Poison is literally one patch away from being like super strong. Like she just needs some number tweaks, and I know she'll be very strong. I think
she's like Minot. She's like Minot in that regard. Yeah,
she's almost there. You know, like she's in a way better spot than some characters are, like Falk or Sakura when they come out. You know, I think Poison's in a really good spot. She just needs one more patch, like one simple patch. I do think her V triggers need the most tuning though. Like her I hate characters with bad V triggers, man. It drives me crazy. When you look at the current V trigger, I know they're not all supposed to be the same and not all supposed to be like super powerful, but damn, man, that's what literally is like the deal breaker from these characters being in tournaments, man. Is V triggers are so important, dude. It has to be good. It has to be. So, I mean, dude, that's all I wrote down for notes. We've been going off for like 43 minutes, Sonic. We gotta close this up, bro. I mean, I think the viewers get the idea, you know? I think they get the idea. I like all 3 of these new characters that came out, man, overall, like I do think Capcom did a good job designing all 3 of them. I just feel like they showed too much restraint with Poison. They were really scared about Poison for some reason. I do like Capcom taking a risk with her and changing her kit, though. She's a really popular character, man.
Why?
Why? I did want some Rekkas, though, man. Come on, Capcom. Give me some Rekkas here.
They don't want forward advancing moves in this game.
They don't want Rekkas. They don't want dive
Wait a minute. We have EX 88 miles per hour, bro.
Damn. Anyways, guys, okay, let's close this up. Guys, let us know in the comments below. Do you guys agree with us? Or are you guys like, no, you guys are so wrong. Poison's OP. You guys just suck. Let us know in the comments below. Hit me up with that, like, and subscribe to the channel, even though it doesn't do anything. And yeah, I mean, Sonic, you still playing Poison? You want to plug your Twitch, man? Maybe go watch more Poison.
You can see me on twitch.tv/Sonic_Soul. There, I'm trying to play Poison whenever I get the chance to.
Yeah.
Probably gonna get a little bit upset when I play that character. I'm gonna do the best that I can, and I also play some Samurai Showdown on the side.
Yeah,
so
man.
check me out.
All right, Sonic. I need to find another excuse to get you on the channel, man. We gotta talk about some other things. But thanks for helping me out with this video, buddy.
No problem.
All right, guys. Till next time. Take care.
Later.